Harry and Meghan were at Diddy freak-off parties and were taped?
Prince Harry's name has been mentioned in court documents related to allegations Sean Diddy Combs sexually abused multiple people.
I feel this situation just got worse. I don't know if you guys know this. So, everybody's seen the video. I'm pretty sure everybody's.
As Sean Diddy Combs sits behind bars awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges, we take a deep dive into the growing list of high-profile celebrities charged with sexual misconduct.
Rumor has it that our favorite ginger prince has been living a double life, and it's not a pretty picture. Word on the street is that new videos have surfaced showing Harry getting wild at Diddy's infamous parties footage that would make the queen clutch her pearls. Apparently, Harry is now in full panic mode, sweating bullets over what might be revealed, and these aren't just regular party photos. We're talking about compromising situations that could shake the entire royal family. The tea is that Harry's been trying to keep this under wraps, but as they say, what happens in the dark always comes to light, and this light is bright.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God, I hope you guys didn't have your lunch because the idea of this is so gross. Now, I don't believe this. I know a lot of you probably want to believe this. I know we think she's done a lot in her past, but Harry doing it with Meghan and Diddy? That's a lot to believe. Now, there's a spin to this article. Now, Jaguar Wright is someone who's reported on the Diddy stuff. If you haven't been following the Diddy case, you should be following it over on Popcorn Planet. It's getting intense. Everybody is being sort of accused, complicit. These tapes are now being shopped around Hollywood. It's bad news. In fact, we have a live later today where apparently 100 plus new victims are coming forward. Make sure not to miss it. We'll be live probably at the time you're taping this. Come over to Popcorn Planet and watch us. Now, this article is getting spinned by Radar saying that Meghan and Harry are overjoyed at the royals being dragged into this Diddy scandal, even though they were added into it as well. But they're sort of avoiding that and saying, well, it's Prince Andrew in the freak-off tape is the one that's real. Now, it's easy to sort of assume that if you heard the previous allegations against Prince Andrew. And I know a lot of people have come forward sort of starting to defend him, saying these accusers that were there calling him out actually haven't been honest. At the same time, it's hard to defend Prince Andrew after that interview where he just keeps denying his relationship with Jeffrey. It's gross. It's a bad look. I don't trust the guy. I know what happened. To each their own. He hasn't been charged, but something seems off. That said, I wouldn't be surprised if he was caught in a freak-off tape with Diddy. It is a similar sort of friend, Jeffrey and Diddy, similar types of people, as we're learning. And Radar Online is now revealing that Duke and Duchess are apparently planning to use Andrew's alleged ties to Diddy to justify their decision to leave the firm and turn their backs on the royal family. I mean, they already left the firm. They've already turned their backs. They don't need Prince Andrew's freak-off tape to justify it, but let's hear it. An insider tells us Harry and Meghan have spent years being vilified by the royal family. Now it's being alleged that Prince Andrew could be facing yet another scandal. They are rubbing their hands in glee. They're called out too, though. So if you want to just believe the Andrew part, well, then you got to believe the part that says you're in it too. And that's what it actually says. Jaguar Wright lifted the lid off who she believes might be featured in these rumored freak-off tapes. She listed more than a dozen names ranging from Jennifer Lopez to Usher. She claimed most people will be most shocked by the politicians and royal family members she alleges were caught on camera attending Diddy's illicit parties. She said, quote, "I think what will shock people are the politicians and the royals that were on that tape. And I'm still trying to figure out when Harry and Meghan are going to be honest about their freak-off tape."
You might be wondering just how wild these parties could really be. Let me tell you, honey, Diddy's bashes are legendary for a reason, and our prince. Harry was right in the thick of it. We're talking about the kind of parties that make Vegas look like a tea party with the queen. Imagine a world where champagne flows like water, celebrities mingle like it's no big deal, and rules, they simply don't exist. Picture this, a mansion that feels more like a palace, music blasting loud enough to wake the dead, and luxury so over the top that even a prince would feel like he'd step into another world. That's the scene Harry found himself in, and he wasn't just a wallflower. Word has it he was living it up like he'd never seen a crown in his life. Was gone. Everyone buzzing though is the guest list. We're talking rappers, models, actors, and even some faces you wouldn't expect to see rubbing elbows with royalty. There are whispers of wild dance-offs, private rooms, shenanigans, and maybe even a little something extra to keep the night going, if you catch my drift. So how did our posh prince end up here? Well, rumor has it that Harry's been feeling rebellious ever since he stepped back from royal duties. No more stuffy palace dinners and charity galas. He wanted a taste of the wild side, and who better to show him the ropes than the king of parties himself.
Keeping my lunch in. Oh God. The last thing I want to watch is that ginger in a tape like that. No offense to gingers out there. Anyway, sorry. Let me move on. Wright continued, I don't think anybody really wants to talk about the fact that the royal family had many times at the Diddy parties, especially that weirdo uncle. Despite her claims, it's believed Harry and Meghan have never met Diddy. Look, this is the reality. There's been no proof. Harry and William met Diddy and Kanye at a Diana memorial event. The pictures have always been out there, but there's no proof that they ever actually went to any parties. Neither has Meghan, that we can prove. There's also no suggestion of any figures right left in the video have been involved in any wrongdoing. Still, insiders have been rocked by the celebs and they're quaking in their boots. It's true. A lot of celebrities are getting worried. In a 2011 appearance in the Graham Norton show, the disgraced mogul said he hoped to have Harry and William as guests at one of his infamous bashes, implying that they hadn't been there since 2011. Diddy said at the time, before, when they were young bucks growing up and they were getting into a lot of trouble themselves. So, hey, I was like, why don't you come hang out with me? Trust me, they're on the list. I think they meant to say on the list. Why would they be off the list if you're inviting them? Harry and William were once seen together with Diddy in 2007. That's in the images that have gone around. But that was at the Princess Diana Memorial Concert. They were performing. It was in the Wembley Arena. It wasn't at a Diddy freak-off party. It's not believed either of the princes have ever made it to one of Diddy's parties. Now, that's where a lot of you are going to just disagree with me. You're going to say, oh, no, they were, Andy, they were. Look, it's possible, I guess. It's possible, but I need more proof before I go there. Even with Prince Andrew. Yeah, I don't like Prince Andrew. He's an idiot to me. Just an absolute bozo. That interview, the scooped interview, oh my gosh, was it with Matthias? What was her name? It's the tough watch. He looked so guilty in that interview. So clueless. There have been a couple movies now about that making of that interview, and it just, what a bozo. That said, some of the allegations that have come forward, it doesn't seem like have been completely honest. Does that mean he's completely innocent? I mean, he is innocent until proven guilty, but would I want to defend his honor fully? No, I wouldn't. Am I going to go criticize him further? No, it is what it is. It is, what else can we do? Would I be surprised to see him though at a Diddy party, given how close he was with Jeffrey? No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Now, her calling him the weirdo uncle, not proof. This idea that, and to quote her, if Harry and Meghan want to gleefully rub their hands saying that, oh, Prince Andrew's now in another scandal, well, so are you. Because the same source said, I'm still trying to figure out when Harry and Meghan are going to be honest about their freak-off tape. How would you have known about that? This person seems to be out there just saying names. And I'm all for, making speculation from time to time if there's a connection. But I don't see any connection. As much as I would love to put my fingers in glee at seeing Harry and Meghan be exposed in that kind of way, because I feel like they are charlatans and so on, I just don't see any proof, guys. I don't see any proof that they would go do that. And the idea of it is not only gross, but just seems so unrealistic that Harry would join Meghan at a yacht party, let alone a Diddy party, and then what? It's too much for me. I know a lot of you don't like these two, but it's too much for me. But this is the rumors that are now heading out there. So do I believe they're enjoying when the royal family gets, put through the coals? Absolutely. Do I think they're overjoyed when they get dragged into these scandals? Yes, they clearly do. They created their own scandals and lies to drag them over the coals then. So of course they would be into that. So not surprised at that part of it, but it's weird that they would be overjoyed by a source saying Andrew was there but the same source mentioned they're there, and they're just like, well, we weren't there, but Andrew, yeah, that one's real. They're either both real or it's not real, and this person doesn't know what she's talking about. That's the reality here. So I do find it interesting that, yeah, apparently they believe, according to this source, that Andrew's there and the source is telling the truth. And if the source is telling the truth, well, then it sounds like you were there too. So what do you guys think? That's what I want to hear. Do you really think it's possible that these two would have made a freak-off tape with Diddy at one of his parties? Or is it too much for you?
It gets juicy. These videos aren't just your typical party snapshots. We're talking about compromising situations that could send Buckingham Palace into a full-on meltdown. Imagine Harry letting loose in ways that would make his grandmother reach for the smelling salts. This kind of footage could flip his whole "I'm just a normal guy" image on his head. And it's not just about Harry having a good time. This kind of scandal could disrupt his entire new life in America. Think about it. He's been working to rebrand himself as a socially conscious family man, but if these videos leak, it could mean bye-bye to lucrative deals and hello to serious damage control. Here's a little hint at what's got Harry sweating bullets. One of the videos supposedly shows our prince in a heated dance-off with a mystery woman. And let's just say it wasn't the waltz we're talking moves that would make a professional dancer blush, and that's only the tip of the iceberg, honey.
Front page of the Sun today. He's making headlines there. He's been named in a US court documents relating to the rapper P. Diddy, whose real name is Sean Combs.
Yeah, the court documents filed in the US mention guests were drawn to Combs's alleged sex trafficking parties because of his so-called access to celebrities and international dignitaries, which included the likes of Prince Harry.
Let's go to Royal and Showbiz reporter Kinsey Schofield on this one. So Harry's been named. What will this mean for him and his wife?
Well, I have to be honest with you. It looks like Prince Harry's being thrown under the bus here. And, you know, I'm willing to criticize Prince Harry when it's appropriate. If you want to talk about his African Parks charity, I've got all day. But in this particular case, it seems like the accuser here, who is a producer named Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who filed this $30 million lawsuit in February, is trying to get attention by dropping some of these bigger names like Prince Harry's into this documentation, trying to say that Prince Harry gave P. Diddy credibility. Now, the only time Prince Harry and P. Diddy are photographed together is in 2007 at an event honoring Princess Diana. The last time I could find Sean Combs talking about Prince Harry is in 2011 during a Graham Norton interview where he's joking, and he clearly has no relationship with him. There's no proof that Prince Harry has nurtured any type of relationship with Sean P. Diddy Combs. And as somebody that's worked for Diddy, I can assure you that he doesn't need Prince Harry when it comes to, you know, any sort of cool points over the years. I've never seen him have to name drop. He was always Diddy.
Rewind a minute there. You worked for him or with him?
Yeah, I threw a party for him for Ciroc vodka. And, you know, I never had any issues with him. I'm very lucky in that regard. I don't have anything negative to say about him. Obviously, these accusations are appalling, but I'm a good girl, so he probably knew not to do anything like that around me. But, you know, this is all over the news here. He is accused of sex trafficking and multiple sex assault lawsuits with raids on multiple houses on Monday by Homeland Security, with them seizing electronics and interviewing 4 Jane Does and 1 John Doe, the New York prosecutors, in connection with sex trafficking and a racketeering investigation. So similar to R. Kelly, and very serious allegations.
It's interesting you were talking about the picture that Prince Harry was photographed next to P. Diddy. I think Prince William's also in that picture, and interesting that he's managed to completely avoid being mentioned in all this just as well, given what's going on for him at the moment. But I wonder why this particular claimant has gone after or decided to pick on Prince Harry, sorry.
I think it's because Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are headline grabbers all over the world, and it's guaranteed press. It's going to guarantee that you'll end up on the cover of the Sun, and I think ultimately this accuser is looking for a payday. And I'm not saying that P. Diddy's innocent. I don't know what the truth is here, but I can tell you, based on past experience with his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, he settled that. I believe it was just one day after that court filing when it came to a 2017 chef that alleged that P. Diddy was inappropriate with her. He settled that 2 years later. So he has a history of settling these cases. You know, blow this up and you could potentially get a great payday. So of course you're going to want this splashed across all the newspapers, and Prince Harry is a great way to do that.
Well, I think it's great talking to you, having worked with him, having knowing how his name is pronounced, as I was pronouncing it this morning and told I was wrong. It's spelt Combs, as in a comb through your hair. It should be pronounced, if it was in Ireland, it would be Combs. But here, the young folks say, what, Isabel?
I thought Coombs, so I checked with the youngsters in the newsroom. They're all like Coombs. But maybe they're too young to really know about Diddy as well.
Or stupid.
Girl, if you thought those dance moves were spicy, wait till you hear what Harry's up to now. The streets are saying he's got a whole team working overtime to bury this mess. But here's the real question. Is the palace about to step in and clean up Harry's mess again? Let me break it down for you, our boy. Harry is in full panic mode, pulling out all the stops to keep these videos from hitting the internet. We're talking late night calls to tech gurus, secret meetings with PR wizards, and maybe even a little royal muscle flexing. The prince is on a mission to scrub the internet clean of his wild night at Diddy. But can Harry really make this all go away? The internet's like a hungry beast, always looking for its next meal. And this scandal is a 5-course dinner. Harry's team is working around the clock, trying to track down every copy of those videos. They're talking to party guests, making deals, and probably waving around some serious cash. But once it's out there. And let's talk about the royal family. They're definitely not happy about this. The queen might be gone, but you can bet King Charles is fuming. The palace has been working hard to clean up his image, and now Harry's out here acting like a frat boy on spring break. There are whispers that the royal family might step in to help contain the damage, but girl, that comes with a price. Harry might have to kiss his independence goodbye if he wants Big Brother William, Daddy Dearest, to bail him out. And what about Harry's new life in America? He and Meghan have been building a whole brand around being socially conscious, woke royals, but these videos could blow that image right out of the water. We're talking cancel deals, side eyes from their Hollywood friends, and maybe even some tough conversations at home. You know, Meghan's got to be giving him the side eye right about now.
Anybody who in law enforcement or people know the law, when Homeland Security ran up into his house, people will tell you, or people knew that it was just a matter of time that they was going to indict him and bring him in to see the judge, bro. It was just a matter of time. I just figured out with the grand jury and their different sessions and stuff like that, and then what one of the witnesses told me, I just figured it out that it was going to be around September that they were going to bring him in, bro. People might not understand. It's difficult when you see a brother that has so much promise become an icon as far as in the music business and stuff that he did, to turn around and just tear his whole life down. But it's all because of his mentors and the people that trained him and taught him the music business. You know, it's all about the people who trained and taught him the music business, because Puff wasn't, he wasn't born a monster. You know what I'm saying? He was made into a monster, brother. Do you understand what I'm saying? He was made into a monster from the stuff that happened to him, the things that he had to do. You understand? The things that he had to do to become who he is. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like this, brother. You never like something so much that you can't do without, and you never be willing to do anything to get where you want to be at. You gotta have principles, you gotta have morals, you gotta keep with that stuff. And in that music business, a lot of that stuff get thrown out the window. You understand? And that's what happened to him. He started doing the things to other people that was done to him. To keep it frank, he was doing the things to other people that was done to him. And it is what it is. You gotta know better. And if you know better, you will do better. When he was in New York City, he was like that gecko from the Geico commercial. Then he turned and started going, when he lived in Cali and Miami, he turned into Godzilla. I would see him talk about how he using drugs. He was never like that. Smoking cigarettes, smoking weed and everything like that. He turned into something that you could consider a monster, bro. Then he started doing things to people, you understand, that he learned. That's a learned behavior, bro. Now, I'm not saying that he may have been doing a couple of things here and there with women, stuff like that in New York, but the things that they're talking about that he was doing, bringing in prostitutes to have sex with his girl and all that stuff like that, that was some crazy stuff to me, man. So I'm just looking at this whole thing, man, and you had asked me, and we don't have these conversations like most people do. We gonna go back and you gonna tell me what, we gonna talk about this. You said, I'ma ask you how you feel, bro. I don't want no man to ever go to jail and be leaving their kids behind, be leaving their family behind. You understand? But some dudes belong in jail based on what they do and how they do it. We know that to be true. And it's just this situation, man, when they get down to all the facts and all what happened, he may belong in jail, bro. And that's not my doing. That's not Cassie doing. That's his doing and his learned behavior from the people that mentored him. You gotta realize, man, he learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clyde Davis. You understand? When those people are telling you that they were heavy into the drugs,
Legal Eagles are circling too. Harry's lawyers are likely working overtime, firing off cease and desist letters like they're going out of style. They're bringing up everything: copyright infringement, invasion of privacy, you name it. But here's the real question. Can you really take on the whole internet from a legal perspective? It's a nightmare. His team is probably cooking up some serious damage control as we speak. Maybe they'll try to spin it as a youthful Odysseus indiscretion or blame it on the wild influence of his party-loving friends. But let's be real, Harry's no spring chicken, and he knew exactly what he was getting into when he walked into Diddy's mansion. Now, here's a little exclusive for you. Word on the street is that Buckingham Palace is not playing around. They've called a merger meeting to deal with this scandal. The royals are reportedly terrified that if these videos leak, it could do some serious damage to the Marquis's reputation. We're talking full-on crisis mode. Honey, there's even buzz that they might consider bringing Harry back into the fold just to keep him on a tighter leash. But here's the million-dollar question. What's actually on those videos? The dance-off is just the beginning. Rumor has it, there's footage of Harry doing things that would make even the most hardcore partygoers blush. Are we talking drugs, women, or maybe something even wilder, girls? The suspense is killing me.